Let's start with some actually quite sad news around the U.S. men's national team, and that has to do with the health of Sergiño Dest. The U.S. international suffering a serious knee injury in training with PSV on Saturday. Dest confirming on social media he will miss the rest of the season. The expectation is that he will also miss Copa America this summer with the United States. Herc, how big a blow would Dest's absence be to the U.S. men's national team and their Copa America hopes this summer?
Just brutal. Massive, massive blow. It's just gutted for the kid.
Yep.
You think about how much he struggled to find a club where he's happy, where he fits in, where he's playing and he's productive. He found that at PSV, arguably one of the best backs in all of the Netherlands, playing at a great level. And I'd argue when he's with the U.S. men's national team, he's what makes them tick going forward. I've always said, show me your outside backs and I'll tell you what type of team you have or you're trying to be. Sergiño Dest is instrumental for Greg Berhalter and how he approaches. He's a guy when everything's in front of him, when everything is there for him, he does so well at dissecting the field, at picking up plays before they happen. On the offensive end, he really is that catalyst for them going forward. When maybe other guys aren't producing in that final third, he could be the key to unlocking some of those defenses. And I think that, I know what you're going to say, it sounds very interesting when you're talking about a right back, but he's that important going forward for Greg Berhalter. Sure, he has his deficiencies when it comes to defending certain situations, but he's very important for Greg Berhalter going forward. The worst thing here is it just doesn't affect Greg Berhalter in Copa America. Forget that. Copa America's
Hard
out
to forget
the window.
that, but okay.
Copa America's out the window. We're talking about his transfer. This kid was about to do a transfer from Barcelona to PSV.
Or somewhere else. He had said that he wasn't, necessarily married to the idea of staying at PSV. He could have gone somewhere. Obviously playing well enough to attract interest, I think.
Whatever number that may have been takes a massive, massive hit.
Forget the number. The transfer might not happen now, right?
Yeah, if at all, if at all. And the other thing here is, per reports, and this is the Athletics report, it's a 9-month injury, up to 9 months. Now, I've had my fair share of injuries. There are few things you put up there that are 9 months if it's not an ACL.
Right. Or like a, serious knee injury, Achilles, that's the kind of thing it is.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct. So it's gut-wrenching for the kid, for the U.S. men's national team and their quest of doing something special in Copa America, and you just hope that he comes back like the same Sergiño Dest.
I think of players that the U.S. can ill afford to lose. Like, what's that list? How do you rank them? I think at one point Tyler Adams was at the top of that list. We've seen that there is life beyond Tyler Adams, but Christian Pulisic,
certainly,
Weston McKennie, maybe now you might even say like a Gio Reyna, Anthony Robinson might be on that list, but you're not naming too many guys before you get to Sergiño Dest. And yes, it is what he brings in the attack for sure. It's also some level of the swagger that he brings. Like, he's a very confident
on the
player,
ball.
and I think that feeds into the guys. There's an obvious replacement of Joe Scally. I know Joe Scally's not Sergiño Dest. How confident would you be giving Joe Scally the role, or do you think Berhalter might do something totally different, like we've seen Tim Weah play as a right wing back? Could we see something? We saw today Yunus Musa playing as a right wing back.
We've seen Weston McKennie in that position.
There are options. I think Joe Scally's the most obvious one, right?
Like for like, position for position.
Position for position, not.
Yeah, not like for like, position for position. It's the obvious choice. I'm just left with two lasting impressions of Joe Scally when given an opportunity. One was Uruguay, though he played on the left against Uruguay, and it didn't go that well right before the World Cup. And the other is against Jamaica just recently in Arlington, Texas, where he struggled. He did not look good. Now, that doesn't mean that he can't look good if given an opportunity at a different moment, but there is a drop-off in confidence, I would say, when it comes to Greg Berhalter and the rest of the right backs in that pool. At one point, we thought this right back pool was heavy, was loaded, and you could afford to lose a guy like Julian Araujo. That was a non-issue. You go back and look at it now, it's not as deep as you might have once thought. It really is on both sides of the ball. Anthony Robinson, Sergiño Dest, and a massive drop-off.
Terrible news for Sergiño Dest, but perhaps a massive opportunity for somebody else. Could be Joe Scally or any of the other options there for Greg Berhalter at right back.